Hello everyone, thanks for dropping by. Over here in Britain we get the American magazine called The Economist, and I don't get it every week as there's just too much reading to be done, and as it's out every week it just gets too much. Besides, it's £5 a go and I don't have that kind of money to spend every week on a magazine. But this time I thought I'd purchase it as it's got a few articles I thought was interesting, including one which is the subject of this video. It says Puerto Rico, Greece in the Caribbean. The article's on page 16. I found the article on the internet and I'll put it below with a few other links associated with this particular article, and you can read them all at your leisure. But essentially it's the elephant in the room that the American economic commentators on YouTube, both public and private, seem to be avoiding. I follow a couple of guys called Man of Truth and Vision Victory, and they both seem to be reasonably switched on, but even they are not addressing this article. Neither is Gerald Celente and Peter Schrift, the other two which I don't subscribe to, but I occasionally watch their videos. It boils down to, and the article says, Puerto Rico, an American territory, i.e. it's not a sovereign state, it's controlled by the American government essentially, risks a Greece-style bust with $70 billion of debt outstanding, the equivalent of 70% of its gross domestic product. It is more indebted than any of American 50 states, and that means it's even more indebted than California and New York. And those of you in California know how bad the economic situation is there with the public finances. Puerto Rico is even the worse situation than you. The problem is the island's economy is also dominated by a vast Athenian public sector, which means it's got a vast public payroll that the private sector is not producing enough revenue to pay the wages of. And the sentence above that, like Greece, Puerto Rico is chronically uncompetitive, placed locked in the currency union with a richer, more productive neighbour, i.e. America. So what happens to Puerto Rico will be backlashing onto America. The article goes on to say how it can be rectified, the possible solutions. I'm not going to go through it, but the last sentence is the federal government could provide interim finance to assist the restructuring as much as the IMF does elsewhere. Even the legal details of Greece bond swap could be a model, which means America could do what the European Central Bank has done with Greece and lend them money. But what good that would be, I don't know, as if you're up to your neck in debt, you don't want to go any further in debt. So none of this would be easy if policymakers in San Juan and Washington are bold and far-sighted, which they probably not. But for the former are pussyfooting, which means the Puerto Ricans are umming and ahhing about it as they don't really know what to do, and the latter are not even paying attention. That means the American government's not paying attention because they've all got their eyes fixated on the banks, Wall Street, and America's internal troubles without looking at the elephant outside the room. Puerto Rico's debt crisis. Expect Puerto Rico's debt crisis to get worse. Now, the reason it's going to affect America is on the previous page. As with Greece, there are fears that a chronic default, that means Puerto Rico could just tell America we're not going to pay our debts and that's it, could participate a far bigger crisis by driving away investors and pushing up borrowing costs in America near $4 trillion market for state and local bonds. Well, as you all know that's been watching the local news, and those of you Americans which are switched on, America has to give off IOUs to cover the incomings with its expenditure, i.e. the deficit. Well, this $4 trillion bond market, if Puerto Rico goes bust and the ripple effect goes to the Wall Street, that could trigger the forsaken collapse that Man of Truth, Vision Victory, George Celente and all the other commentators, Gerald Celente, have been commenting about these last few years. So looks like the fuse sort of has been lit, and Puerto Rico has moved from the elephant outside the room to the elephant inside the room, and the American government is not taking that much notice of it. I seen a report in American news, let's see, get the history up. Where is it? It's here we are. The American channel. Oh, shut up. The American news channel CNBC, they've done a link to it. I'll say that, bookmark it. I'll put that link below with the news articles so you can have a listen to the report. But apart from the Herald Tribunal, is it Herald Tribunal? Get rid of that. Yes, the Chicago Tribunal, the newspaper, and one or two other economic magazines. There's been really nothing about it on the American websites and media outlets that I've been able to access. So I think America's in more trouble than it knows about, and if Puerto Rico goes like Greece, then there's a chance that little Puerto Rico could drag America down with it, sort of like the American economy is the Titanic and Puerto Rico's the iceberg. So if you're American, you might find this of interest. If not, then you won't. Anything else I wanted to say? No, I don't think there is. Okay, you know the routine, like, dislike, wherever, all up to you. So until the next time, bye.